There are cities around the world that stand out not for their beauty or size, but for their strange, often unbelievable traits. Imagine living in a place where it's illegal to die, or a town where nearly every resident lives in one single building. These unusual places attract attention for all the right and wrong reasons, making them some of the most fascinating spots on Earth.
It's crowded with people everywhere. There is not a single other person here.
Ready to dive into the world's strangest towns? Let's explore these unique communities. Number 20. Dongguan, China. In the bustling city of Dongguan, China, a highly unusual social phenomenon has emerged. This city, known as a manufacturing powerhouse, has attracted a large female workforce, leading to a notable imbalance in the gender ratio. With a significant shortage of men in the area, some women have found themselves competing for eligible bachelors, a twist on the usual social structure seen in many parts of the world.
The girl is mine. Never!
She's mine.
I belong to no one.
Whoa.
Dongguan's gender disparity has been linked to its booming industrial sector, which has drawn a higher number of female workers to fill jobs in factories and assembly lines. The result? The city now has one of the most noticeable male-to-female imbalances in China. With more women than men, some reports claim that many women are on the lookout for stable relationships and future husbands. Stories of women navigating this unique dating environment have even led some to dub Dongguan as the capital of leftover women in China, a term used to describe women who struggle to find partners due to demographics rather than choice. This unusual situation has sparked various changes in the city's culture. For instance, social events geared toward matchmaking have become more common, with some groups even hosting gatherings specifically for women seeking male companionship. In such a densely populated place, a gender shortage creates a unique social structure that is unlike anything seen in most cities. Number 19. Manshiat Nasser. Manshiat Nasser, located on the outskirts of Cairo, Egypt, is more than just a neighborhood. It's known as Garbage City. Here, the majority of residents make a living by collecting, sorting, and recycling waste. Unlike most cities where waste is carted off to distant landfills, Manshiat Nasser's streets are lined with piles of garbage. Local families have made waste collection their primary occupation, creating a unique yet challenging lifestyle that has come to define the area. Residents of Manshiat Nasser are often called the Zabalin, meaning garbage people in Arabic. They collect garbage from all over Cairo, bringing it back to their neighborhood for sorting. Surprisingly, this recycling operation is highly efficient, with the Zabalin recycling up to 80% of the waste they collect. This makes Manshiat Nasser one of the most effective recycling hubs globally, despite the lack of advanced technology. Living conditions, however, are difficult. Streets are filled with waste, and housing is often built around piles of garbage that are waiting to be processed. For many residents, this work is all they know, passed down from generation to generation. While the lifestyle might seem challenging to outsiders, Manshiat Nasser's residents are deeply connected to their way of life. Their efforts make them unsung environmental warriors in a city otherwise overwhelmed by waste.
Many Zabalins say they choose to live here, even if they didn't collect garbage for a living.
Number 18. Longyearbyen, Norway. Longyearbyen, located on the remote Svalbard archipelago in Norway, is unique in more ways than one. Known as the world's northernmost town, it experiences extreme Arctic weather, months of continuous daylight in the summer and darkness in winter. But one of its most unusual laws? It's illegal to die here. The reason behind this strange law has to do with the permafrost that covers the ground in Longyearbyen. When someone is buried here, the ground's frozen layers prevent their body from decomposing. This unique characteristic was discovered over a century ago, after scientists realized that bodies of those who passed away in Longyearbyen were unusually well preserved due to the permafrost. To address this, authorities enacted a rule. If residents become terminally ill, they are typically flown to the mainland to spend their final days and receive burial elsewhere. In addition to its strict burial law, Longyearbyen has an eerie but breathtaking landscape. The town is small, and because of its extreme conditions, life there operates on a unique rhythm that reflects both the cold beauty of the Arctic and the town's pragmatic approach to life and death. Number 17. Colma, California. Colma, California is famously known as the City of the Dead. In this small town, the deceased significantly outnumber the living, with over 1.5 million people buried there compared to just around 1,600 residents. Colma has earned its unique nickname. This unusual demographic ratio is due to the relocation of cemeteries from nearby San Francisco in the early 20th century. When San Francisco banned new cemeteries to make room for development, Colma became the chosen site for reinterments. As a result, Colma is now filled with vast cemeteries, each dedicated to people from different backgrounds, religions, and organizations. It's a peaceful place where the living share their daily lives with the legacy of those who came before. For residents, it's just another part of life in Colma. Shops, restaurants, and homes stand in the shadows of sprawling graveyards, creating a town where history and present-day life blend together. Living in a city with more deceased than living doesn't faze Colma's residents, who often make light of their unusual surroundings with a local saying, "It's great to be alive in Colma." For visitors, the town is both a curious and contemplative destination, drawing people interested in the stories behind the many memorials. Number 16. Centralia, Pennsylvania. The town of Centralia in Pennsylvania looks like something straight out of a horror movie. Once a bustling mining town, Centralia became a ghost town after an underground coal mine fire ignited in 1962. The fire has been burning ever since, spreading beneath the town and releasing toxic gases and smoke. Over time, the fumes and unsafe ground conditions forced nearly all residents to leave, turning Centralia into a modern ghost town. While it's believed that the fire started accidentally in a landfill, the flames caught onto coal veins and began an unstoppable underground blaze. For the few remaining residents, life in Centralia is eerie and surreal. Roads are cracked and buckling, and steam rises from the ground, adding to the sense of abandonment. Signs warn visitors to stay away from unstable areas, and authorities have shut down roads that once connected the town to the rest of the state. Though it may seem like Centralia has been abandoned, a handful of residents still call it home, refusing to leave despite the ongoing fire. Centralia's story is a haunting example of how a single mistake can transform a thriving town into a desolate landscape, where the ground itself is far too dangerous to tread. Number 15. Thamestown, China. Imagine stepping into a British village without leaving China. Thamestown near Shanghai is just that, a full-scale replica of a traditional English village. Walking through the cobblestone streets, you'll find rows of quaint English-style houses, iconic red telephone booths, and a few statues that resemble British figures. Completed in 2006, this town was meant to attract Shanghai's growing middle class, offering them a slice of European life closer to home. However, the town didn't quite take off as planned. While it initially attracted visitors for its charming Old English aesthetic, Thamestown now feels more like a movie set than a bustling community. Many of its buildings sit empty, and instead of residents, tourists, and photographers often occupy the streets, using the scenic backdrop for photo shoots and wedding pictures. Thamestown also highlights China's trend of creating architectural replicas. While some locals appreciate the European charm, others see it as a strange attraction with a mix of cultures in a location far removed from England. Despite its lack of residents, Thamestown has found a second life as a popular photo location, making it both a ghost town and a booming hotspot for wedding photography. Number 14. Whittier, Alaska. Whittier is a town like no other in Alaska. Nearly the entire population lives under one roof in a building called Begich Towers, which includes homes, a school, a grocery store, a police station, a post office, and even a church. It's a complete self-contained community under a single roof, shielding residents from Alaska's extreme cold and snowy conditions. The idea of living in one building might seem odd, but for Whittier's 200 or so residents, it's a way of life. During winter, the town is often snowed in, and the single road connecting Whittier to the rest of Alaska becomes hard to navigate. This unique setup allows residents to avoid the elements while maintaining a sense of community. Life in Whittier has its quirks. For example, everyone knows each other, and privacy can be challenging. There's a tight-knit atmosphere among the residents who rely on each other, especially during the harsh winters. While Whittier may seem isolated, this close proximity helps foster a supportive community where residents can weather the harsh conditions together.
What that means is, don't stop here. Just go right on through.
It's a gateway.
It's a gateway. It's not a destination.
I did the opposite.
Yeah, you're rare.
Number 13, Noiva do Cordeiro, Brazil. Noiva do Cordeiro is a unique town in Brazil, mainly populated and run by women. This community has around 600 residents, most of whom are women. Due to its female-led society, the town has gained attention for its strong sense of community and its unusual population structure. Many of the town's women manage local farms and businesses, and the town runs on a cooperative lifestyle where everyone pitches in. Over time, rumors spread suggesting that the women in Noiva do Cordeiro were actively seeking men to balance out the population. This wasn't quite accurate though. While single men are welcome to visit and even settle there, the town values its female-led dynamics and independence. Visitors often comment on the friendliness and resilience of the women, who support one another and work collectively for the town's prosperity. The strong community spirit in Noiva do Cordeiro sets it apart, as does its cooperative way of life. The women here have built a unique society that challenges the norms and encourages a supportive, collaborative way of living. The town is living proof of how communities can thrive with innovative approaches to lifestyle and leadership. Number 12, Slab City, California. Welcome to Slab City, California, an off-the-grid, self-proclaimed last free place in America. Located in the Sonoran Desert, this unconventional community is made up of people who seek to live outside the traditional rules and norms of society. Slab City residents live in makeshift homes, many of which are old RVs, shacks, and tents scattered across the desert. It's a place where you won't find any official government presence, taxes, or utility services. Slab City attracts a mix of people, including artists, travelers, retirees, and individuals who simply want to live away from society's rules. It's an offbeat sanctuary for those who desire freedom from structured life, and it has become known for its artistic expression. The town is filled with murals, sculptures, and installations, with Salvation Mountain being a major landmark, a colorful, hand-painted mountain created by local artist Leonard Knight. Despite the freedom, life in Slab City is challenging. With no running water, electricity, or basic infrastructure, residents rely on solar power, rainwater, and donations to get by. The extreme desert heat and isolation also add to the hardship, yet many are drawn to this freedom, forming a resilient community bound by mutual respect and the desire to live on their own terms.
People will come here just to get out, be different.
Number 11, Coober Pedy, Australia. Coober Pedy in South Australia is a mining town with an unusual twist. Most of its residents live underground. Due to the extreme desert heat, which can exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius in summer, many locals have built their homes beneath the surface to stay cool. The town was originally established as an opal mining center, and today its underground homes and lifestyle make it one of the world's most unusual towns. Living underground isn't just practical for Coober Pedy residents, it's also quite comfortable. Underground homes, called dugouts, are surprisingly spacious and keep a consistent temperature year-round, even in the harshest weather. Visitors to Coober Pedy are often surprised by the community's underground churches, shops, and hotels, all carved out of rock. In addition to its mining heritage, Coober Pedy has become a tourist destination for people curious about its unique underground lifestyle. Visitors can explore the mining sites, try their hand at opal mining, or stay in one of the underground hotels. This outback town is more than just a place to live. It's an attraction that shows just how creative people can be in the face of harsh conditions. Number 10, Auroville, India. In the state of Tamil Nadu, India, lies a town unlike any other in the world, Auroville. Created in 1968 with the vision of bringing together people from all backgrounds to live harmoniously, Auroville doesn't operate on money, religion, or politics. It was founded by Mira Alfassa, often referred to as the Mother, who aimed to build a utopian society where people from around the world could live peacefully without the traditional divides seen in most places. To make this concept work, Auroville was designed with a focus on self-sufficiency and communal living. Residents here work on sustainable farms, crafts, and educational projects to support the town. When it comes to basic necessities, Auroville functions differently. Instead of using money, residents contribute to the town's communal economy. This means that many basic needs such as food and healthcare are covered by the town's resources. Residents don't receive a formal salary, but are given allowances to meet personal expenses, allowing people to live comfortably without relying on the outside world. Oroville is also known for its massive golden dome called the Matrimandir, which serves as a meditation center. This isn't a religious site, however, as Oroville intentionally avoids promoting any one religion. People of different faiths and backgrounds live together here, focusing on self-development rather than organized worship. As of now, Oroville has a population of around 3,282 people from over 50 countries. However, while it may sound like a paradise, life here isn't always easy. The town is surrounded by more traditional areas, and over the years, it's had to overcome tensions with locals and regional authorities. Regardless, Oroville remains one of the most unique towns globally, as it's an ongoing experiment in human unity and sustainable living. Number 9. Monowee, Nebraska. In the heart of Nebraska lies Monowee, a town that holds a peculiar title. It's the only incorporated town in the United States with a population of just one person. The sole resident is Elsie Eiler, who is Monowee's mayor, bartender, librarian, and everything in between. This unique setup started in the early 2000s after the town's last few residents left or passed away, leaving Elsie as the only person left. Despite its population dwindling, Elsie chose to stay, keeping her husband's bar, the Monowee Tavern, open as a tribute to him and as a way to keep Monowee alive. She also maintains the town's library, a small room with around 5,000 books donated by friends and locals over the years. What's interesting is that Monowee operates like any other town in terms of its administrative functions. As mayor, Elsie files the necessary paperwork, pays taxes, and even applies for the liquor license she needs to keep her bar open. She keeps the local infrastructure running, ensuring that Monowee, despite its unique circumstances, remains an official town. People from around the country and even the world come to visit Monowee to see Elsie's bar, make a small purchase, and have a chat. The town is a blend of solitude and community, with Elsie keeping the legacy of Monowee alive by keeping the doors open and welcoming anyone who wants to hear her story. It may just be one person, but Monowee, in its own way, is very much alive.
I could pack up and go anywhere I wanted to, but this is where I want to be.
Number 8. Dwarf Village, China. Near Kunming, China, there's a place known as the Dwarf Village or Kingdom of the Little People, where people with dwarfism live and work in a community set up as a tourist attraction. Created by businessman Chen Mingjing, this community is designed as a theme park where performers put on shows, sing, and dance in costumes. The village was created to provide employment opportunities for individuals with dwarfism who often face significant social and economic challenges in China. For many residents, the dwarf village offers both a steady income and a sense of community. They live in specially designed small homes and perform in shows, drawing curious tourists who come to witness the unique community. However, the concept is controversial. Some people argue that the dwarf village reinforces negative stereotypes and reduces residents to mere entertainers for public amusement. Critics claim that this setup exploits the performers rather than empowering them. Supporters, on the other hand, point out that the village provides stable jobs and a supportive environment for people who might otherwise struggle to find employment. Regardless of perspective, Dwarf Village is a unique, if contentious, place. It shines a light on the challenges faced by people with dwarfism in a society where they often encounter discrimination. For better or worse, this community serves as both a haven and a tourist attraction, making it one of the world's most unusual towns.
你自己决定是离开还是留下，还是做什么？你会？
我会选择离开。
Number 7. Kowloon Walled City. Until its demolition in 1993, Kowloon Walled City in Hong Kong was one of the most densely populated and lawless urban areas on Earth. It started as a Chinese military outpost in the 19th century, but later became a no-man's land when Hong Kong was leased to Britain. Left without a clear government, Kowloon Walled City grew into a maze-like settlement where triads or organized crime groups ran the show. At its height, the city covered just 6.4 acres, but housed over 30,000 people in a cramped space with narrow, maze-like alleyways. Many of the city's buildings were stacked so high and so close together that sunlight barely reached the lower levels. Despite its chaotic appearance, Kowloon Walled City developed its own system of schools, markets, and other essential services. With minimal regulation, people set up unlicensed businesses in everything from dentistry to noodle manufacturing. Residents developed a sense of community amidst the chaos. with informal systems to maintain safety. However, the city was notorious for its crime, unsanitary conditions, and lack of infrastructure, leading authorities to demolish it in 1993. Today, the Kowloon walled city is a park, but its history remains infamous, symbolizing urban overpopulation and the extremes of human adaptability. Number 6. Gibsonton, Florida. Located in Florida, Gibsonton, also known as Gibtown, was once a winter haven for circus performers and sideshow acts. People like bearded ladies, giants, and other sideshow performers would come here in the off-season to rest and prepare for the next round of shows. In Gibsonton, residents didn't face the judgment they might experience elsewhere. Instead, they found a place where everyone had a story, and neighbors were familiar with the circus lifestyle. The town became famous not only for its residents but also for its unusual zoning laws, which allowed carnival performers to keep exotic animals and equipment in their front yards. Here you might find a resident with a lion or an elephant parked outside. This unique freedom gave Gibsonton its identity as a safe space for those in the circus community. As the circus industry declined, Gibsonton evolved, yet its legacy as a carnival town remains. Today, while many performers have passed away or retired, the town is still a symbol of this colorful past. Gibtown is like an ongoing tribute to the circus era, blending ordinary life with a unique history. It's a place where tradition, nostalgia, and the unusual all come together, making Gibsonton one of the world's strangest towns. Number 5. Hallstatt, China. If you've ever seen images of the scenic Austrian village Hallstatt, you'd recognize it instantly by its quaint lakeside beauty and picturesque European architecture. But did you know that China has an almost identical replica of Hallstatt nestled in its Guangdong province? That's right, this small Chinese town is a precise replica, meticulously designed to mirror every detail of the original Austrian Hallstatt. Why was this done? Largely because Hallstatt's reputation as one of the most beautiful villages in Europe drew a great deal of attention in China, where both real estate developers and tourists had an interest in replicating such an iconic landscape. Construction on the Chinese Hallstatt began in 2012, driven by Minmetals Inc., a real estate company with a vision to bring the charm of European architecture and town planning to Chinese locals. With a budget of nearly $1 billion or around 100 million, the company copied Hallstatt's buildings, churches, and even its charming town square. This project received a lot of attention, partly due to the surprising level of detail. Even the original Hallstatt's cobblestone paths and wooden cottages were mirrored in the Chinese version. One of the most interesting aspects of this town's design is that it isn't purely for tourism. People actually live here, and the town has residential units, cafes, and shops, all resembling those in the Austrian Hallstatt. This unique setup has turned the town into a tourist attraction in its own right, pulling visitors from all over China who might not have the opportunity to travel abroad. The replica did raise some eyebrows, especially in Austria. However, once locals from the original Hallstatt learned about the project, some were flattered, even traveling to China to see the replica themselves. Since its completion, Hallstatt, China has continued to serve as a unique fusion of Austrian aesthetics and Chinese culture, becoming a favored destination for photographers, tourists, and anyone intrigued by the concept of a replica town. Number 4. Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell, New Mexico might seem like an ordinary small town at first glance, but it's famous worldwide for an extraordinary reason: its connection to UFOs and alien lore. Back in 1947, something crashed on a ranch near Roswell. While the official explanation was a weather balloon, the unusual debris and rumors quickly led to speculation about a UFO. This mystery has sparked debate ever since, making Roswell a hotspot for UFO enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists alike. Today, Roswell embraces its extraterrestrial fame with open arms. Nearly everything in town is themed around aliens, from the streetlights shaped like alien heads to murals and sculptures depicting alien figures. Roswell even has an annual UFO festival, which attracts thousands of visitors every July. The festival features alien costume contests, guest speakers on UFO-related topics, and various exhibits and attractions related to extraterrestrial life. One of the must-visit spots is the International UFO Museum and Research Center, located right in downtown Roswell. It's packed with exhibits and documents about the 1947 incident, conspiracy theories, and other UFO phenomena worldwide. You'll also find plenty of alien-themed shops and restaurants throughout town. Some cafes even serve alien burgers and green-colored milkshakes to add to the experience. Roswell's embrace of its UFO fame has revitalized the local economy, transforming what was once a quiet town into a bustling tourist destination with a unique twist. It's a quirky place that thrives on mystery and intrigue, making it one of the world's most unusual towns. Number 3. Setenil de las Bodegas, Spain. Imagine a town built not just near a cliff, but within and under massive rocks. That's Setenil de las Bodegas, a small village in Spain that looks like it's part of the landscape itself. Located in the Andalusian province of Cádiz, this town is known for its unique structure, with houses, shops, and cafes built directly into the surrounding cliffs. The rocks form natural canopies over the buildings, creating a one-of-a-kind appearance that attracts thousands of visitors each year.
A town built under a rock. How is this even possible? How do people live here?
Setenil's origins date back centuries, as people used the natural rock formations as shelter. The caves provided insulation from the heat during the summer and retained warmth in the colder months, making it a practical place for early settlers. Over time, the town expanded and more buildings were constructed around and under the massive rocks. Walking through Setenil is an experience like no other. Narrow streets weave through towering rock overhangs, and visitors can see buildings where walls are entirely made up of natural stone. You'll find cafes and tapas bars nestled into the cliffs, where visitors can enjoy traditional Spanish dishes with an amazing view. Some houses even have small gardens growing on top of the rock formations, adding to the village's charming and surreal landscape. Setenil's popularity as a tourist spot continues to grow, thanks to its scenic views, unique architecture, and rich history. This small village not only showcases the ingenuity of early settlers, but also offers a visually stunning experience for anyone passing through Andalusia. Number 2. Chefchaouen, Morocco. Chefchaouen is Morocco's famous blue city, and for good reason. Almost every building here is painted in varying shades of blue, giving the town an enchanting, dreamlike appearance that draws visitors from all over the world. Located in the Ref Mountains, Chefchaouen is relatively isolated, which only adds to its allure and mystique. Why is everything painted blue? The origins of this tradition are somewhat mysterious, with various theories explaining the choice of color. Some say it was the Jewish refugees who first painted the town blue in the 1930s, seeing it as a color that represents peace and spirituality. Others believe that the blue acts as a mosquito repellent, as it's thought that mosquitoes are less attracted to watercolored surfaces. Whatever the reason, the blue theme stuck, turning Chefchaouen into a unique tourist attraction. Chefchaouen's narrow streets, lined with blue painted walls, make it a photographer's paradise. The town is full of charming markets, known as souks, where you can buy local goods like woven blankets, handmade pottery, and Moroccan spices. The town's blue walls and mountain backdrop create a peaceful, calming atmosphere, which has also made Chefchaouen a popular destination for artists and writers seeking inspiration. Despite its growth in popularity, Chefchaouen has managed to preserve its local culture. You'll find traditional Moroccan cafes serving mint tea, local eateries offering dishes like tagine, and mosques with intricate designs. Chefchaouen offers an immersive experience for those interested in Morocco's traditions and unique visual charm. Number 1. Agbog Bloshi, Ghana. Agbog Bloshi in Ghana isn't your typical town. Known as one of the largest e-waste dumping sites in the world, Agbog Bloshi has earned a reputation as one of the most polluted and dangerous places on the planet. Tons of electronic waste from countries across Europe, North America, and Asia end up here, often illegally. The result is a vast landscape of discarded electronics, from computer monitors to old televisions, with residents dismantling and burning the waste to extract valuable materials like copper. The conditions here are dire and the health risks are substantial. Toxic fumes from burning e-waste fill the air, and heavy metals seep into the soil and water, posing serious health risks to those living and working in the area. Many residents work in these hazardous conditions out of economic necessity, often lacking protective gear or proper facilities. Life expectancy in Agbog Bloshi is shockingly low due to the constant exposure to dangerous chemicals, yet people continue to live here due to a lack of better alternatives. Despite the severe pollution and health risks, Agbog Bloshi has become an unlikely home for thousands who find work in dismantling e-waste. The site reflects the darker side of global consumer culture as mountains of discarded electronics pile up in this community. Environmental groups have been calling for changes and better regulation to protect the people working here, but Agbogbloshie remains an unsettling reminder of the environmental and social impacts of modern waste.
So how many of these TVs actually work?
And they all work?
Yeah,
they all function?
99% are working.
100%?
Yeah, about 99.
99%.